Hey there, Capricorn. Welcome to your reading for the week of August 19th. And sorry, I just wanted to get a really good shuffle on this, which apparently didn't work. So let's see. This deck is a little bit too slippery for this table, but you have this Scales of Balance card. It says, finding balance within yourself and things will balance out around you. You have this Path to Knowledge. It says, you're journeying into the realm of knowledge to assist in your personal growth. Yeah, it's an amazing time for you to learn. I mean, I've been saying to you for years, Capricorn, that ever since Saturn went into Capricorn in like 2016 or whenever that was, it's not there anymore, but it doesn't matter. When you have Saturn, especially, that goes through a sign, again, you will learn those lessons. And here's the thing, is that in 20-something years, whatever it is, when it comes back to Capricorn, Saturn is going to say, did you do what I said or not? And trust me, you don't want to say, no, I didn't do what you said. So it is an amazing time, I believe, for Capricorn to, kind of figure out self-education, being able to learn how to do the things that you don't know how to do them, but being able to teach yourself how to do something, more or less, right? So anything that you want in your life, anything that you want to accomplish, do, be, or have, I would learn as much as you can about it, because it's going to lead to more success. And again, you don't have to wait. You're not going to be waiting 20-something years to get the rewards for doing what you're supposed to be doing. Again, when we work with Saturn, we get the energy pretty much right away. You do have the Tower here. Everybody's had the Tower almost, except for like 2 people this week. So clearly there could be like a global Tower moment. Wouldn't even worry about it. You have the Death card, the Queen of Wands, and the Nine of Pentacles. Something is definitely changing in your life. Again, we've talked about this a lot, because I am convinced that you have Pluto going over the cusp of Capricorn and Aquarius, right? It's moving back into Capricorn now, and in November it's going to go back over that cusp into Aquarius to stay, which is probably the most dramatic thing you will deal with in your whole entire life, because again, most people don't even experience Pluto in their sign. It takes 240 whatever years for Pluto to make a full orbit, and to go through all the signs. So most people don't even ever experience this. And, what I would say is, I think that it is a pretty dramatic change. It's even more dramatic in Capricorn because, when Pluto is in Capricorn, it says close to Earth as it possibly can be. It has a very highly elliptical orbit, and it shoots way out. And so when it goes into Aquarius, Pluto is officially leaving, going out into the solar system. And so what I would say here is that, this is a heavy change for Capricorn. I think it has been a very heavy change. And what you're being asked to do really is the Tower. I think that for Capricorns, really, there is a major change coming, and I think the change for you is going from one thing to another. So again, you could be leaving one establishment, going to another establishment, which we've talked about many times. But again, it is very important. People keep saying, you just repeat yourself. I'm like, well, I could make things up and pull things out of my ass and tell you that your ex is coming back like everybody else does, or I could tell the truth and just keep encouraging you to move forward. So I don't know, your choice. But you have the Queen of Wands. So the Queen of Wands is about being brave, being bold, being assertive, and kind of really going for something that you want. And so I think that for a lot of you, this is going to be a change that requires bravery and learning as you go. But I also think that the results are going to be worth it. I mean, you have the 10 of Pentacles, 8 of Pentacles, Ace of Swords showing up here. So again, I think a lot of you are really going to be feeling kind of like on top of the world as we move forward into the future over the next couple of years. But, I think even like this week, you could be feeling a lot more motivated to get things done. So again, I kind of get the feeling that some of you haven't been feeling as motivated as you normally do. And so this to me looks like the return of motivation. And I feel like you're finally kind of like feeling more like a Capricorn again. You have the 9 of Pentacles. So it's like, I don't know. I think Capricorns are very independent. I'm not so sure that people look at Capricorn as an independent sign, but I do. And so, I think that, really what it is I think Capricorn has maybe the best self-reliance out of all the signs. So it's like you are able to rely on yourself more than other people. And I feel that this is leading to a lot of success. The 9 of Pentacles is, pre-Empress energy. And I feel like for a very long time, it's like you get very, very close to accomplishing what you want, but it's like there's always just a little bit missing, or there's always just like a little bit of something not being there for you. But the beautiful thing about this reading is I feel like a tower moment, and it's not like this is not a bad tower moment. Again, I think you're just making a change or a transition or transitioning to something that's more in reality. But I think that this is going to finally lead to that missing piece, you know? And it's like if this is love, for example, I think you always get very close to being with a person or, you know, finding a person who has what you desire, but it's like never close enough. Same thing with work or business. It's like maybe you always get super close to your goals or your wishes, but it's like always just a little bit less. And I feel like that's what's changing, which is great. With the Death card, you actually have two cards here. You have the Page of Pentacles and the Page of Wands. You have 3 pages here. So this definitely could be love. I would say that it's probably one person, although it wouldn't surprise me if you had multiple people who are interested in you. But I kind of feel you are attracting like a Page of Cups, Page of Pentacles, Page of Wands. You know, someone like very adventurous, someone who likes to learn, someone who's very imaginative as well with the Page of Cups. So you could be attracting a person like that. With the Queen of Wands, you have the 3 of Pentacles. It's funny that I was saying self-reliance. You know, while I think it's a good thing that you do rely on yourself, I also feel like asking for help is a good idea. So, you know, it's like I have a ton of Capricorn in my chart, and it's like my mother is actually responsible for me hiring my first employee, right? Which has totally changed my business. So I highly recommend it if you have a business. Now I have a bunch of people working for me, but, you know, what I would say is it's like I had a lot of resistance in like releasing the control of certain things, right? But again, it has made me like 20 times more successful. So I highly recommend it. And I'm not saying you have to hire people, but you know, having accountability partners or, you know, having people you can bounce ideas with off of, you know, things like that really will make you more successful. And that's what the 3 of Pentacles says. It says you still maintain the lead. It's like you are still in the driver's seat, but, you know, it's like I couldn't do half the things I do if I didn't have employees now. And, you know, again, I highly recommend it. With the 9 of Pentacles, you have the 10 of Wands. 10 of Wands is about carrying a heavy burden. And 10 of Wands is about putting in the work. And again, I think that this is one of the things that Capricorn probably says to themselves. Like, I do all the work. And I do think you do the work. Like, you go above and beyond with the work that you're doing. But it's like the results haven't been matching. 9 of Pentacles isn't a bad card. So, you know, it's like you still get results. But I still feel like something is missing intuitively here. And so it's like you put in a lot of work. But it's like you don't get the results to match that. And I think that has been one of your challenges. But I also think that is what's about to change. You know, you have that scales of balance card, so it's like you're balancing things out. You have this serendipity card. It says bright new prospects on the horizon. You have this earth card, which you are an earth sign, obviously. It says utilize logic, reason, and common sense. So make sure to do that. One thing I will say is that you have the Page of Cups and the Moon, and I think that there could be a lot of illusions going on right now in life. And so the Page of Cups is fantasy. You know, he is imagining things. He is making things up. I always say that we don't actually know if that fish is real or not. That fish in that cup might be part of his imagination. You also have the Tower as well. I mean the Moon card, but also the Tower, right? The Tower is reality. These people are falling out of the Tower because they've been ignoring reality and they're being brought back down to reality. So if you do have some sort of fantasy, I just said the same thing to Taurus, by the way. So if you're dealing with a Taurus, or if you have Taurus in your chart, then you might want to go watch the Taurus reading. They didn't have the Tower, but I was kind of getting this feeling that they need to be like more realistic, and I kind of feel like that's what's happening to you. But it's not a bad thing, you know, Capricorn. It's like maybe there are some things where you got sucked up in the fantasy, or you got sucked up in the imagination of something. But I also feel the Moon actually says you can still have it. You know, the Moon is fears, fantasies, illusions, secrets. But there is this path straight down the middle to these mountains in the background, and mountains represent achievements. The Moon is also just, you know, the Moon can also be temporary, right? Because the Moon comes up, the Moon goes down, the Sun comes up. So I feel for a lot of you, it's like maybe you have been in this temporary period of confusion or, you know, fantasizing, and, you know, the reality doesn't match the fantasy, which we kind of were saying here with the 9 of Pentacles to the 10 of Pentacles. It's like you always get very close, but you don't get the big picture with the, you know, that's what the 10 of Pentacles is saying. But I think with like some minor changes in your next row, which we're going to talk about, you will get the full picture, whatever the 10 of Pentacles is for you. With the Page of Cups, you have the Knight of Cups. Knight of Cups would be a knight in shining armor, so there definitely could be a knight in shining armor coming in for you. It could be a earth sign, fire sign, or a water sign. Obviously you have all three right there. With the Moon card, you have the Ace of Wands. Yeah, the Ace of Wands is the beginning of the idea. And it's like sometimes, I wonder this as well. You're going to have to tell me. I don't know. But it's like maybe you get really excited at the beginning of something and then things kind of die off over time. The trick with the Ace of Wands is that we have to build the fire. We have to, kind of build the desire to do something. So the Ace of Wands is only just the spark of life, right? It is that initial spark. But you have to keep putting wood on the fire. And so I always say, like, what is the wood for you? And I'll tell you, this right here is the wood for me. I have major ADHD, right? So every single day I come into this and I write down a list of at least 8 things that I need to accomplish. I learned this trick from the YouTuber Peter McCormick, right? So I write down 8 things every single day that I need to do. This is actually, I'm on my a new one right here. And I write and I cross those things off, right? One after another, after I complete each thing in there. And it's made me like a million times more productive than I normally am. Like, that is the wood for me. I'm ADHD. It's like crossing that off is a little bit of a dopamine hit for me. So that's what works to keep me going. And I feel like the Ace of Wands is kind of like saying, like, what is the thing that you need in your life that can motivate you to success? And it could be anything. Do you need to reward yourself? Do you need to, do you need someone to pat you on the back? Like, what is it? With the Tower, you have the Two of Wands. Yeah, it's only going to be a Tower moment if you don't make a change, right? The Two of Wands is, he's not really ignoring reality, but he thinks he knows what reality is. The story of this card is that he rushed to a finish line and he didn't enjoy the journey. And now he is looking out at the world in front of him, but he's not looking at the whole world that he has in his hands. So he thinks there's nothing new for him to experience, but really there's a lot of new things that he could go experience. And I think that this is saying, like, be flexible in your experiences or be open to the idea of doing things different. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this Adventures card and you have this Inner Peace card. I feel like Adventures will bring you inner peace. Sometimes I think we get stuck in these zones where we're like only working and we're not doing something fun. And that's usually when life becomes pretty dull. So I think that some of you maybe need to go on an adventure. This could be like a vacation or traveling, but it could also just be something you do from home, something nice that you do for yourself. And I think that would be, that will bring a lot of inner peace. You have the Four of Cups, again, talking about the disappointments. I think this is the feeling of always getting very close but not getting there. It's like he's been disappointed 3 times. He has a new opportunity coming in here, so he always gets very close, but he doesn't get exactly what he wants. But here's the thing. I always say that the Four of Cups, it's like trying to manifest a cake. He has the flour, the sugar, the eggs. He's disappointed that he has the ingredients. He just needs to mix it all together. And I think like now is clearly the time for you to mix together all of the experiences that you've had in life up until this point, and you need to pop it in the oven. It's like I think you're about to create your great work in life. It's like when we get to this point, we mix our experiences together. Usually we create something great. But I think your future self is saying it's time to get to work. You have the Eight of Pentacles here. The Eight of Pentacles sometimes I think says you need to pat yourself on the back. Like he needs to look up and look at how much work he has accomplished. If he puts things into perspective, and he sees how much work he has done, then it immediately makes what he's about to work on much, much easier. Because then he can say, like, look at all the work that I've done. Look at all the things that I've accomplished. Again, whenever I'm having a bad day, I look at my old notebooks like this, and I'm like, oh, look at these pages and pages and pages of work that I have accomplished. So again, I'm a big fan of, kind of looking at what you do. I have a compliment journal as well. So whenever somebody calls me fat or stupid or whatever on YouTube, I just look at that compliment journal. I'm like, oh, people actually like me. They don't think I'm all those things, right? So again, whatever you need to do to brainwash yourself into feeling better about yourself, I think would be a good idea this week. You have the Ten of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles is, everything you want and desire in your life. So I feel like you are trying to, literally build and leave a legacy, which I think a lot of people are doing right now. But I think you're getting closer and closer. I think mixing together all the things that you've learned is a good idea as well. You have the 4th page with the here. So you clearly have someone who is like a super page or something coming in for you. I do feel like you could be attracting a person who's kind of like young at heart, someone who's very curious, adventurous, someone who likes to have fun. And the funny thing about this is like I feel like you could be attracting an old young person. Like maybe you're attracting a person who's older than you, but they're like very young at heart. Because you're probably attracting a person who has had a lot of experiences. And I find that people can go two different ways when they have a lot of challenges and experiences. Right? They can develop a chip on their shoulder, or they become more playful because they realize life is just a game. Right? And I kind of feel like if you want love, that's like the type of person you could be attracting. Someone who has been through so much that they are actually more playful, more curious about life. With the Eight of Pentacles, you have the Knight of Pentacles. I don't know, like every reading I do for you, right? You get this card. You have such a brilliant idea, Capricorn, which is what I really want to say to you, is that, I think you have all the ingredients. You just need to start planting those seeds. With the Ten of Pentacles, you show up, the Devil. This actually puts you in a position of power and strength, so I feel like that is just you kind of being present in the reading, which of course is a good thing. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this Virgo card. It says a time to give rather than take. You have this Void of Course Moon. It says nothing will come of this situation. This is showing up in the good stuff, so if you are walking away from something right here with the Eight of Cups, then I would say that you are walking away from something that isn't going to fulfill you anyway. And we have the Tower to the Eight of Cups right here in this diagonal. So I think that some of you could be cutting things out. Ace of Swords as well. It's like you're removing yourself from things that are a waste of time. Even the Devil is really a card that says examine the things that you are investing in, your time, effort, and energy, and is it worth it or not? And if you remove the things that are just stealing your energy, then you immediately become more successful. So the Ace of Swords is, of course, a card of victory and success. I do feel like there could be some like big successes coming in for you, some big victories, big wins, and yeah, that's pretty much how I feel about the Ace of Swords. So yeah, I feel like there could just be some sort of victory here with this card. It's also a card of balance. These are green, but normally these 6 golden yods are golden color, and they just represent balancing your life out, which you could be doing. You have the Eight of Swords. Again, Eight of Swords and the good stuff would say you are setting yourself free. That's the other thing as well. It's like, again, with all those pages, you could be the one that is becoming more playful, more open-hearted, more just looking at life as a game that is meant to be played, and you're setting yourself free in that sense as well, which of course would be a good thing. With the Eight of Cups, you have the Five of Swords. I feel like you're taking a big risk here. Eight of Cups would be walking away from something that isn't right. So again, if there's like a job, a business, a career, something in your life that isn't right, the Five of Swords would be you taking the risk to walk away and do something else, or you finding something that's better for you. And so that could be the risk you're taking here. And yeah, that's exactly what I would do with the Five of Swords. With the Ace of Swords, you have the Queen of Wands, which you have twice. You start and end with the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands, again, is about being bold, being assertive, really going for what you want. So I feel like you are really, really kind of like making it happen here with the Queen of Wands. With the Eight of Swords, you have the High Priestess. This is about trusting your intuition. I do feel like I feel a lot of the times you go Page of Cups down to the High Priestess. The Page of Cups can say that maybe a lot of times you can see through the illusion, or that you can see through the fantasy, but you want the fantasy to be the reality. So I don't really have any good examples of what I just said, other than it's like sometimes I think we get into a connection or a relationship, for example. We know it's not going to work right away, but we want to believe in the fantasy, right? And so I feel like this is you starting to trust, it's almost like you're stopping yourself from starting things that you just know aren't going to work. And so you're not wasting your time. And I feel like that High Priestess is saying you're really trusting yourself. You have this manipulation card. Again, this is like good manipulation, not bad manipulation. This card is as above, so below. So it's more about you working with the energy and manifesting things into your life. You have this companionship card. Yeah, I think that definitely you could be attracting like a true companion, or someone who like really wants to be in a relationship. So this could be a very good person that's coming in for you here. I feel like it would be someone who's very balanced. Again, they have all 4 pages, So like I said, I feel like this is a very well-balanced person that you could be attracting, which is good. You have this this card, this lost card. This is Saturn and Pisces, this card, and we have Saturn and Pisces right now. And also, you have the Tower. So clearly, either there has been a Tower moment, or you are accepting a reality that something needs to leave your life. And so I don't think this is a bad thing, because clearly you are heading towards like a much more balanced, better reality, not something that's like a fantasy. You have this ostentation card. Can't make this up. This card is about seeing what's real and seeing what's fake. So you can literally tell the difference between, something that is real or something that is just a fantasy. And this will help you out, of course, because when you can see reality, things become, much, much easier in life. And finally, you have this health card. Yeah, great time to work on your health. This Mercury retrograde, part of the retrograde is in Virgo. So, I feel for some of you working on your health or staying healthy or doing things that make you healthy. You do have the devil, and the devil is your own card. But, the devil can say it's time to remove bad habits that steal your health or don't make you feel healthy. So that's a good idea. But pretty good stuff here, Capricorn. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your week.